Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I have so much that I want to share today. It seems like every time I start my video, I am putting something on the list. But I have a lot to say today, guys, because I watched a bloodbath happen yesterday and in these YouTube streets. And like I said, I just don't believe in sharing names. And the reason why I don't believe in sharing names is because everybody goes through this, right? What I watched yesterday is not anything that people actually, like I said, it's not anything that people just don't experience. And like off of these YouTube streets. So my topic today is actually my part two and what I wanted to talk about. I was going to touch on joy, but at this moment I feel like before I can actually even touch on joy, I want to touch on problem solving and taking accountability. So anything that I can speak on, anything that I'm actually sharing, I want to say it again. I feel that I have the ability to be able to share because, again, I personally have been through these things. And I've looked at how things can go right, and I've also looked at how things can go wrong. All right. So in my last video, I talked about the telephone game, and I spoke about how, like if we have mediation, I'm always trying to get over that. We were talking about having mediation, right? Having mediation either in public or having mediation in private. I waived very heavily, and I stated that I feel that if you have an issue with someone, it should not travel into these YouTube streets. You should handle your issues in private. If you want to speak to someone, speak about an issue or something that you're experiencing, I feel that you should not do it so much so that it becomes a detriment to somebody else's livelihood. I also touched on if you feel that you need to deal with the issue in these YouTube streets, you need to have a neutral party, somebody that is not connected, somebody that has wisdom, somebody that has a relationship with the Lord, somebody that has the ability to be able to, hold each person to the foot, right? To hold them. I forgot I had this thing up so loud. Oh my gosh! I hope that you guys can hear me, because I don't really want to go back because I have so much I want to say. So pardon all the noise. I hope that you guys can hear me. So like I said, I feel that might have been the reason why I was speaking so loud. Oh my gosh. Alright, so like I said, if you get a third party, because I really want to make sure that you guys heard me, so let me slide back. Again, I'm going to kind of repeat it because I was definitely speaking over top of my my defroster in my car. So listen, again, like I said, I really feel that you should not involve anybody else inside of your situation at all. Like, you really should not talk to anyone about your situation unless it happens to be somebody that you trust. It definitely should not be on social media. It should not be on these YouTube streets. But if you feel that you go onto these, you need to go to these YouTube streets to speak about your issue. You should not name drop. You should not name names. You should not say anything negative about that person to be able to tell your story. You should not be. You shouldn't have to go so far in where you're actually going to try to cause detriment to this person's livelihood, because at the end of the day, this person does have to live outside of your issue with them. No matter how much you are hurting, it should not be to the point of where you want to cause destruction. Okay? If you feel that you really want to go through this situation and go via the YouTube streets, then and you feel that you want to take care of this situation publicly, I'll again veer toward doing it privately. Then I feel that you need to have a mediator, somebody that is not connected to either party, in the sense that they will be able to have wisdom, they will be able to hold everybody's foot to accountability. What else? That person will be able to also drop some nuggets to be able to get to kind of like enlighten you to be able to see the opposite side. Like, this person has to be somebody that would be beneficial to helping to resolve the issue. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I said that again, right? Because what I'm noticing is that more often than not, people are not in a place of problem solving, right? You just feel like you want to continue to go on a campaign to try to slay people's names or even try to defame people's character. And I'm saying this from what I'm looking at, I'm saying it from both sides. And at the end of the day, one of the things that I'm noticing is that accountability. You being accountable for the part that you play in a situation, always has to be kind of like an intrinsic. If you don't know what intrinsic means, that means like inside thinking, like you thinking about what part you played inside of a situation that happens to go left or go wrong. Before I continue, do not forget, guys, I'm on the highway. This is Highway Chronicles. If you see me not looking at the camera, you already know what the deal is. I'm trying to make sure that I get to work safely, and I pray that I'm able to deliver my message to you guys. If you like anything that you are hearing, let me go ahead and make sure I add that. If you like anything that you're hearing, or if you want to add on, if you want to hear a little bit more about this topic, if you enjoyed this message, like, comment, subscribe, and then share this with somebody else. I'm hoping that this will be something that will be able to encourage or help you to be able to see things from a different perspective. All right, so let me continue. I am amazed at how a lot of times people don't want to be accountable for their actions, right? I will say that I recently experienced that with somebody that I love very dearly, and what I noticed is that a lot of times when people don't want to be accountable, it's either fight or flight, right? So fight means that you're going to come back, you're going to say things, you're going to do whatever you have to do to make sure that you know that let the opposite person know that there's a disdain, right? That there's an issue, right? You have an art against this person, like you got a straight out problem with this person, but you don't want to necessarily confront that person and say it, right? Or you will flight, right? Which means flee. You will hide. You will abandon. You will jump ship. You won't deal with the issue with that person at all. Now, both sides without wisdom is detrimental, and the reason why both sides is detrimental is because I want to first look at the side from the person that flees, right? That decides to in flight or fight. You are the flight, right? So if you are the flight and you're choosing to abandon, jump ship, not deal with the issue, a lot of times you end up keeping this so much on the inside. You will keep it on the inside so much so once you have your fill, and once your cup has runneth over, you're ready to fight. Like, you've been pushed so much so your back is up against the wall and you feel like there's nothing else left for you to do than to come out with your dukes up, and it's emotions all over the place because you have held them in, you have bottled them in so much so that now you have become combustible. Your cup has overflowed. It is running over the cup. It's running over the rim. It's running on the table. It's now off the table, all on the floor. It's going all over the place. Okay, so it's uncontrollable at this moment, and it takes a while for you to be able to empty yourself all the way out, for you to be able to finally feel some release. But when you do that, it adds on to the problem and magnifies the issues even more. So that's flight, okay? Fight. This person is windmilling, swinging. Anybody can get it. I'm going to say whatever I have to say, whether it's true, whether it's false, whether it's private information that was shared. I'm now going to expose you. I'm going to make you public. And it's wild, right? You have no control. You're not operating or functioning any kind of wisdom at all. You don't care who you tell. It's almost like you're running for president. Like you are running around on a national campaign. You want to make sure that anybody and everybody can actually hear your speech, and you want to try to get the votes as much as you can to be on your side so you can be declared the winner, right? Neither one of these is cool, because at the end of the day, it actually takes a level-headed person to be able to a level-headed person that's actually functioning in wisdom, that actually wants to resolve an issue, whether you want to keep the relationship or you don't want to keep the relationship, right? You have to have your emotions intact. You have to have wisdom in place. You have to learn how to quell that fire that wants to make you combust, or you have to quell that fire that's making you want to run away, and stand firm, strong enough to be able to try to resolve the issue. So that way, if you guys have to deal with something, you can walk away amicably, and you don't have to worry about there still being some lingering foolishness afterwards, right? You don't have to worry about any residue. You don't have to worry about, even if somebody else brings it up, you know how to shut that thing down by saying, oh, we already handled that. We already resolved that. And what I notice is that in fight or flight, accountability has to happen on both sides, right? And this is not to say that sometimes there can't be an innocent bystander. And what I mean by that is, I watched an innocent bystander, a person who did a favor for a friend, get burned. That's an innocent person, innocent bystander, who did a favor for a friend get burned, right? But let me tell you how even accountability falls in there, right? Because I've been there. If somebody comes to you and they will ask you to do a favor for them, but in that favor, right, because you have an awesome relationship with this person, you trust this person with all your heart, but yet your spirit on the inside, right, that voice that's on the inside of you, that's in the pit of your stomach, is like, nah, yo, don't do it. Then you should not do it, regardless of whether it's your friend or not. Because when you deny that inner voice that is saying to you, beware, don't do it. Beware. Like, don't do it, then don't do it. Tell me why the natives don't want to drive right this morning, guys. This is the reason why I got to keep my eyes on the prize. I'm the prize. Excuse me. So you need to make sure you also don't give an answer out of haste, right? What I mean is, just because it's my friend, this is my ride or die, we down for whatever, this person got my back, this person has looked out for me, this person has done so much, this person helped me to get the way I am today, whatever the case is, right? We got a great relationship. They always got my back, so my head is in this situation, da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't even matter, right? If you still feel deep down on the inside that the answer is no, then let your no be no. When you come out at the end, when things have become combustible, and you say, I knew I should not have done this in the first place. I had a feeling I shouldn't have done it. Nobody wins. When I say that nobody wins, I mean it exactly that. Nobody wins at all. for the person that is in the flight. Now, let's look at the person that's in the fight, right? You have a person that's in a fight is fighting everybody. They don't care. As soon as any kind of issue happens, they're easily offensive. They are very strong-headed. They don't like to necessarily listen to reason right then and there. Only thing they know is that they are ready for fisticuffs. They have the boxing gloves on, and like I said, anybody can get it. They will swing at the referee. They will swing at the opponent. They will swing at the bystanders and the onlookers. Like, everybody can get it, right? Because you don't have your emotions intact enough to be able to listen to reason. All right, so that is a bad thing. That is a horrible thing, because at the end of the day, your mouth can cause a lot of damage, right? And at the end of the day, you need to also understand that the same thing that you're doing to somebody without throwing caution to the wind, you're doing the same thing. The same thing that you're doing to somebody is the same thing that will do to you. The word you reap what you sow doesn't necessarily mean that if I say something bad about you, somebody's going to come back and put my business out in these streets too. It means that you reap what you sow. You're going to get back whatever you put out, but it might not look exactly the same way that you put it out. So if you decide that you want to go and defame people's characters, you want to slay the names of people, you want to embellish things, you want to say and put things like private things out and make them public, to kind of make yourself look like the victorious one. And you really don't care what you have to say. You want to say things that's going to sting. You want to say things that's going to hurt. You want to say things that's going to penetrate, destroy. I feel that, not necessarily I feel that, I think that you need to take a step back and understand your part inside the situation and how things went left in the first place. And then think about how you could be accountable for how you got this whole thing started in the first place. Because a lot of times, like, for example, when relationships go wrong, right? Oh gosh. Like, when relationships go wrong, guys, oh Lord, you got to look at your part that you actually played inside of a situation, right? Because, like, when, I'll give you an example, when a woman, I hope I'm still on, like, I hope this analogy is about to make sense in reference to the fight person, right? And you coming out swinging. So let's just say there's a guy and there's a girl, and there is a mutual sense that you guys are going to try to talk to find out exactly where this thing or where this situation might go. But you knew ahead of time that there might have been some red flags, but you didn't care about that. And you also knew, once you got into the situation, right, that you continue to see some red flags, but you kept on throwing them to the side. When your situation dissipates and it happens in a way that isn't approving to you, and you become so upset at how things fell apart, you cannot play victim, because you have to be accountable for the fact that you actually saw these things ahead of time, and now you want to fight about it, but you're not being accountable for the fact that you did one thing. You made a choice, although you knew better. This is not to say that the outcome for everybody is going to always be the same. When you see red flags, it doesn't mean that, things might not be, those red flags that you saw may not permeate your relationship. But I'm using this as an example to say that what if they did, right? Permeates your relationship so much so that it ends up killing the relationship, and now your relationship has been trashed. But you're mad to the point of where you want to fight. You want to put this person's business out, and you want to try to slay this person's name instead of trying to handle it in a way that has wisdom, that has knowledge, that is filled with problem solving, so that you will be able to walk away with some type of closure and accountability. Because at the end of the day, it took two people, not just one, two people to choose to say yes to the situation, not just one. And even if you knew better and you still said yes, you have to be accountable for your choice. And I think that does support my fight, because of the fact that I think that a lot of times people overlook what part they played, whether it is large or small. There's always a choice inside of this situation and how things are handled, so that you can make sure that you do not, or that you do walk away from something that's, that could be so detrimental to either side. You want to make sure that you're walking away from it amicably. I feel like I'm rambling on at this point. So, that is basically what I did when I say that is what I really wanted to share in reference to people being accountable. I feel like regardless of what you have done inside of a situation, whether it is because you said yes or whether it is because you said no, whether it's because you asked somebody to do something, whether it's because you turned a blind eye, whether it's because you have allowed things to happen and you never said anything. Like, everybody has a choice, and everybody at some point needs to honestly take accountability when relationships go left or when issues arise inside of a situation. So with that being said, guys, I know that at the beginning I said if you got the gist of this message, if you actually enjoyed this message, if you actually got anything out of this, I do have another video that I'm about to shoot right behind this. I just don't want to make them too long. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are about the things that I've said. Like I said, I've been watching different things in these YouTube streets, but people in these YouTube streets are not the only people that actually experience this stuff. So if you got a measure that you want to add, you go right on, and I'll respond. All right. So I hope you guys have a great and blessed day. Do not forget that you are uniquely made. There is no one that is in the earth that is like you. And if you do not know what you were created to do, just pray, ask the Lord, and He will guide you.